Hi friends, I'm Jarvis, and welcome back to Louis Jarvis Show. Anyone who's a fan of Warhammer Fantasy will know of the famous duo Gotrek and Felix, two adventurers who travel across the world of Warhammer Fantasy for Gotrek to find his doom and for Felix to record his story. Gotrek and Felix will go on many adventures across the world. Eventually though, Gotrek would find his doom not at the hands of a demon or at the maws of some kind of dragon, but by the hands of the Slayer god himself, Grimnir. Gotrek would be slain by the god, though he would be resurrected and be offered to enter the realm of chaos to eternally slay demons. Gotrek will of course accept this offer and will lift Felix from his oath, allowing him to live and to record his final adventure. Gotrek would enter the later revealed Realm Gate and for thousands of years would slay oceans worth of demons. However, Gotrek will eventually land in the mortal realm of Axii, where his story will continue in the Age of Sigmar setting. However, what if in an alternate timeline, instead of entering the setting of Warhammer Age of Sigmar, what if Gotrek ended up in the setting of Warhammer 40k? And how would he integrate in such a setting? Now, before we do, I think it's worth talking about the idea of the realm of chaos in the warp. Within the setting of Warhammer 40k, it has been hinted that the warp is multi-dimensional, where it connects to multiple realities. Think of the warp as like a giant ocean, though an ocean of madness, of course. And settings like 40k and Age of Sigmar, our continents are settled in these oceans. So imagine Gotrek traveling through this ocean, however instead of laying in the continent of Age of Sigmar, he instead lands on the continent of 40k. Ramleys from 40k Theories has made a video exploring about this idea, so I'll leave a link to his video in the description down below if you're interested. Plus I think he explores this topic a lot better than I could ever do. So again, his video is in the description below if you're interested. For this video, let's have a little fun. How would it be like if a character like Gotrek were to land in a setting like 40k? And how would he integrate in such a setting? There are thousands of possibilities of what could happen. Here's my scenario though. Let's imagine Gotrek, he's having the time of his life, slaying demons upon demons for eternity. At the exact same time though, Abaddon launches his 13th Black Crusade on the world of Cadia. The Eye of Terror opens its maw and unleashes a tide of demons and Chaos Space Marines. Gotrek unintentionally is swallowed by this drain within the realm of chaos, and the drain for here being the Eye of Terror. Gotrek would land on Cadia, where he would find a world ravaged by war and set within an apocalyptic battle against demons and giants and Ceramites. Gotrek would pick up a power axe from a slain space marine and go off to do what he does best, slaying demons and giants almost 3 times his height. In the background, I would like to imagine Cadian shock troops witnessing Gotrek, not only taking on enemies that are much taller than him, but successfully slaying them. Something that not even Space Marines could do so easily. With Cadia at his final moments, the Guardsmen and perhaps an Inquisitor will try to convince Gotrek to leave the world with them. Gotrek would try to refuse, of course, thinking that his doom is near. However, he would be convinced that it would be more of a suicide than a proper doom at the hands of an enemy. So Gotrek would leave, reluctantly of course, with a select few guardsmen, and just for the fun of the scenario, an Inquisitor. They would leave the conquered world, and would fly off somewhere else in the galaxy. He will learn that not only has he entered a completely different world, but a different time, almost thousands of years after the original calendar within the Warhammer Fantasy setting. Even though Warhammer Fantasy and 40k are not connected whatsoever, with Fantasy being an alternate reality and 40k being the far future of our reality, Gotrek would still try to make connections with this reality and his, thinking that the Imperium of Man is the Empire of Man, the Necrons being the Tomb Kings, the Orcs, even though they're technologically more advanced than the Orcs of the Seas in Fantasy, he would probably still think of them as the exact same greenskins. The Elves being the Eldari, and the God Emperor being the God King. And I can definitely see maybe an Inquisitor or maybe a Guardsman with enough knowledge thinking that Gotrek is some kind of strange evolved human, perhaps even a squat. And about that actually, in the universe of Warhammer 40k, there are its version of dwarves, though for here they're named the squats. Though unlike the dwarves in Warhammer Fantasy, they're not a separate species. The squats in 40k are a separate evolution of humans, and they will even have their own name, Homo sapien rotundus. The dwarves in Warhammer Fantasy are more inspired from Norse mythology and Tolkien, being their own separate species and having their own gods and origin. So even though a Inquisitor would try to say that Gotrek is some kind of squat, Gotrek would insist that he is not a human whatsoever, but a dwarf, something that's not connected to humanity whatsoever. With this, it's possible that the Guardsman and the Inquisitor might think of Gotrek as some kind of Xenos. Now, depending on who's with him, they could quote-unquote tolerate him because of his age during the Battle of Cadia. That, or they would try to kill him because of them thinking of Gotrek as some kind of alien. They would fail, of course, considering that Gotrek has slain enemies and monsters that are far greater than him. With all this in mind, though, what would his adventures be like within the world of 40k? And to be quite honest, it would be insane. Like, I could see Gotrek traveling across the stars to try to find his doom. I could probably see him taking on an ocean worth of Tyranids, taking on awakened tomb worlds, the Tau Empire, the Orcs, just going out and taking on every kind of horror found in the universe of 40k. And of course, this would probably get the attention of characters like Guilliman, who would probably try to use Gotrek as some kind of trump card against major threats against the Imperium of Man, perhaps using him to slay major characters like Ghazghkull. Now, even though Gotrek would have the time of his life in a setting like 40k, I could see him wanting to try to go back into his original world, kind of like what he did in the audio drama Realmslayer, Blood of the Old World. Now, maybe like the audio drama, he would probably realize that going back to a dead world like Warhammer Fantasy would be meaningless, and that he can continue on his life within the new setting. But again, the ideas are absolutely endless. However, this has been my scenario. And of course, I'd like to hear yours in the comments down below. How do you think Gotrek would react to a setting like 40k? And what kind of adventures would he go on? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next week with a brand new video. Have a good day, everyone. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like to subscribe, make sure to activate the bell notification button so you'll never miss an episode. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing, and I'll see you again soon. Have a great day, everyone.